In a galaxy where countless alien species follow strict codes of war and honor, humans are considered the weakest link, easy prey to be hunted and conquered. But when one human soldier shatters every expectation with an unthinkable tactic, the entire galaxy is forced to rethink what honor really means. What happens when the supposed weakest species rewrites the rules of war? This is the story of the human who didn't just survive. He broke their war code and changed the balance of power forever. The Zarnak Empire was vast, ruthless, and proud. They had never lost a battle in the last 5 centuries. Their warriors were trained from birth in the ancient codes of war, honor, strength, and loyalty. Every fight was a contest of skill and discipline, every victory a testament to their superiority. To the Zarnak, war was an art, and their enemies were expected to respect the rules. So when the Zarnak hunting fleet encountered the small human transport ship in the neutral sector, they smiled. The humans were known across the clusters as primitive, reckless, and disorganized. The perfect prey. Captain Threx stood on the bridge of his flagship, Vortex Blade, watching the human ship transmit a surrender signal. They had no chance, and the Zarnak would take no prisoners. But this human crew was about to rewrite everything. As the boarding party landed, they found the humans surprisingly calm. Their captain, a tall man named Marcus Kane, greeted them without fear. "You'll find we don't play by your rules," Marcus said quietly. His voice held the calm certainty of a predator eyeing a weaker animal. Threx sneered. "We will see." What followed in the next hour became a legend whispered across star systems. A battle where one human shattered the sacred war codes of the Zarnak by using unpredictable tactics, traps, and sheer brutal ingenuity. The Zarnak soldiers were unprepared for guerrilla warfare and a refusal to engage in the expected face-to-face combat. By the time the Vortex Blade was lost, and the Zarnak boarded their own ships in retreat, one truth echoed through their empire. Humans were not the weak, honorable prey they had believed. They were something else entirely. The war had just begun. The aftermath of the Vortex Blade ambush spread like wildfire through the Zarnak Empire. Whispers turned to rumors, and rumors to outright panic. The once confident hunters now eyed humanity with suspicion and fear. Captain Threx barely escaped with his life, his ship crippled, his pride shattered. Back at the War Council, his superiors demanded answers. How did a single human captain defeat our boarding party? It's impossible. Threx slammed his fist on the table. They broke every rule we have. No honor, no discipline. They fight like wild beasts. The council elder, a towering figure draped in ceremonial armor, stared coldly. Then we must adapt. If humans won't fight our way, we will teach them ours. And if that fails, we will crush them. Meanwhile, on Earth, Marcus Kane prepared for the next battle. His crew, a ragtag mix of soldiers, engineers, and survivors, trained relentlessly. They knew the galaxy now hunted them. But Marcus wasn't just fighting to survive. He was building something new. A war where human unpredictability was their greatest weapon, where broken rules were the keys to victory. The first strike was just the beginning. The Vortex Blade limped back into Earth's orbit, battered but victorious. News of their success echoed through every human settlement in the outer colonies, igniting hope that had long been buried beneath years of fear and submission. Marcus Kane knew the fight was far from over. The Zarnak Empire was ruthless, and now, humiliated by a single human captain, they would retaliate with brutal force. In a secure briefing room, the Terran High Command gathered. Holomaps flickered, showing the sprawling reach of the Zarnak fleets converging on human territories. "We have one advantage," Marcus said firmly. "They expect us to fight like cowards. But we fight like survivors. We use the environment, our ingenuity, our unpredictability." He unveiled plans for guerrilla strikes on supply lines, sabotage of enemy outposts, and cyber attacks designed to cripple their communications. The room filled with tension as leaders debated the risks, but Marcus's confidence was infectious. "Let them come with their numbers and their ships. We'll be ready, on our terms." Meanwhile, in the shadows of Zarnak's capital, whispers of dissent grew. Some officers questioned their leadership's underestimation of humans. Others secretly admired the cunning displayed by Captain Kane. The war was changing, and no one knew where it would end. The skies over the mining colony on Epsilon Prime were ablaze with tracer fire. The Zarnak Empire's assault fleet had arrived in full force, determined to crush the human resistance once and for all. But Marcus Kane and his team were ready. Using guerrilla tactics honed from years of fighting on harsh death worlds, Marcus led small, mobile strike teams that appeared and vanished like ghosts. They sabotaged supply convoys, hacked enemy drones, and set traps in the dense jungles surrounding the colony. Each victory was a message. Humanity would not be broken. Back on the Vortex Blade, engineers worked tirelessly to retrofit captured Zarnak tech, blending alien technology with human ingenuity. Every upgrade made the ship deadlier. Every victory fueled their resolve. Despite overwhelming odds, the humans fought with a ferocity that shocked even their alien foes. But the Zarnak Emperor was not a leader to be underestimated. He dispatched his elite warlord, Sarlacc, a towering warrior known for ruthless efficiency, to hunt down Marcus Kane. The hunt was on. In the shadows of the dense forest, Marcus's team prepared for an ambush that would test every skill they had. Failure was not an option, not when so much depended on their fight for freedom. The dense jungle echoed with the crackle of distant blaster fire as Marcus and his team moved stealthily between towering alien trees. Every shadow could hide an enemy scout. Every step might trigger a hidden mine. Sarlacc's warband was relentless, and they had the advantage of numbers and heavy firepower. But Marcus had something they didn't, a fierce determination born from fighting for his people's survival. Using hit-and-run tactics, Marcus's team struck swiftly, targeting supply depots and communication arrays to cripple the Zarnak's ability to coordinate. They left behind chaos and confusion, forcing the enemy into defensive postures. One night, as a storm raged overhead, Marcus's scouts reported Sarlacc's forces closing in fast. The warlord was no longer just hunting. He was coming for a final confrontation. Marcus prepared his team for the battle that could decide the fate of Epsilon Prime. It was a fight not just for survival, but for the hope of all humanity. The next day, beneath the rain-soaked canopy, the clash began, an epic struggle of skill, courage, and unyielding will. The battlefield was a whirlwind of chaos. Blaster fire streaked through the rain. Explosions shattered ancient trees, and the air was thick with smoke and the cries of combatants. Marcus stood at the forefront, heart pounding, eyes sharp. Sarlacc's elite warriors charged, their bio-enhanced armor shimmering even in the storm. But Marcus wasn't just any soldier. He had trained for this moment, carrying the hopes of Earth and all its colonies on his shoulders. Using guerrilla tactics learned from years on Deathworld, Marcus and his team exploited every advantage. They used the dense jungle as cover, striking fast and retreating before the enemy could react. In a tense standoff near the ruined temple, Marcus faced Sarlacc himself. The warlord's strength was terrifying, but Marcus's resolve was fiercer. Their fight was brutal, each strike a test of will and skill. At the critical moment, Marcus used a technique no alien had ever seen. He channeled the environment, knocking Sarlacc into a trap that crushed the warlord under ancient stone. With Sarlacc defeated, the remaining invaders broke ranks and fled into the jungle, leaving Epsilon Prime free. Marcus sent a transmission back to Earth. The Deathworlder's spirit is alive. We stood, we fought, and we won. This planet isn't just a battlefield, it's home. Earth responded with full support, sending reinforcements and technology. The galaxy began to realize, never underestimate a human raised on a death world. The legacy of Marcus and his team would be told for generations, a story of survival, courage, and the fire of humanity that refused to die.